What is good? What is good? I can't believe I'm awake. I've worked, I think, close to 30 hours in 2 days, if that. I'm crazy tired right now, but gotta get it in, man. Gotta get in sometime here on the Periscope. On the way home now. Quick. There you go. On the way home now from work. Nice grind night. How you guys doing? Missed a large part of Red Zone today because I was sleeping part of the 1 o'clock games. I missed a good chunk of the Steelers game today too. I saw the fourth quarter though, when New England turned out that comeback late in the game. Not bad. Man, I'm just tired. I'm working like crazy. Next 2 weeks, like in my business, what I do, I'm a poker dealer. So in my business, what happens is that when we get busy during the holidays, I tend to work more during the holidays than other folks. So I tend to be a lot more active, working and not being home as much and trying to make as much money as I can. But it's what it is. But yeah, I missed a good chunk of football today. I mean, I saw enough to know what's going on. Teams eliminated, my Giants eliminated for the playoffs, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. I don't know. The Pats are... This is a weird week. KC loses on Thursday night. The Pats lose today. The Rams lose today. A lot of top teams went down this weekend. A lot of top teams. Vegas knows what they're doing. It was no secret that if you're a gambler, of course, that there was the largest spread coming into the weekend was Falcons Cardinals 9 points -9 Atlanta, and there was not one double-digit spread. And well, the Rams ended up being that way at the end when they announced Carson Wentz injury, because at the time when they opened it I think at 8.5, 9 points for -9 for the Rams. Once they announced the Wentz injury, it went the other way. But it was a strange week. It was a very strange week on the NFL. Takeaways. The Bears. I'll tell you what. If the Bears can. If Chicago could, Mitchell Trubisky, if he can play mistake-free football, if he can play football in a way where he's not making mistakes and he's just playing within the game plan, and part of the reason why I think Matt Nagy is coach of the year is because he's literally coaching play-by-play with Trubisky, making sure he finds efficient plays for their offense. Now their defense is amazing, and defense travels obviously. But I tell you what, watching the Rams game today, tonight. Losing to Philadelphia at home, an Eagles team without Carson Wentz, with their shredded secondary, and still losing, that's a bad sign for the Rams, man. I think the Rams, I'm not trying to panic here either, because obviously, when you look at, you're going to lose games. Once you get to the playoffs, things happen. But the Rams have been kind of slipping the last couple weeks anyway. You go back to last week's game against Chicago, it wasn't that they lost to the Bears, it's the fact that the conditions were so bad, they didn't even respond. And then they lose to Philadelphia at home, without Carson Wentz in the secondary. They're in trouble. I think they're in trouble. And they don't have a home field advantage either, to be honest with you. I mean, the Rams have, they got a base, but visiting teams do show up in their games. So I'm not really, look, if I'm Seattle, if I'm maybe Minnesota, I'm not fearing the Rams at all. Obviously, in New Orleans, I'm fearing the Rams. Chicago should fear the Rams at all, even if it's in LA. I'm not saying now. I still put the Rams as the favorite in the NFC. Maybe the Saints slight favorite now, but I do think the Rams. There's something missing there, and they've been slipping for the last couple of weeks, to be honest with you. So something to keep an eye on. The Bears. Back to the Bears though. But if the Bears can play mistake-free football moving forward, with that defense playing as well as it did today against Green Bay, they could be a problem. I'm not going to sit and predict to go to the Super Bowl, none of that, but they could be a problem. It's all about Trubisky. I trust Trubisky. Seattle had a tough loss today against San Francisco on the road. Seattle will get in the playoffs still. They'll still get in the playoffs. I'm not worried about Seattle not getting in the playoffs. But yeah, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. Seattle made their job a little harder. But again, I think they're still locked for the 5 seed because they'll play KC at home next week. They'll be up for that game, I'm sure. And that's just that. The Pats. Again, I haven't seen the Patriots lose 5 games. The last time the Pats lost 5 games was probably, I think, 2010, maybe, I think it was. And this is a strange Patriots year. I think this is the end of the road for the Patriots, man, honestly. I mean, obviously, a playoff team to win the AFC East. But this loss, I mean, they gained no ground on KC at all this week. They lost again. They're going to be playing Wildcard Weekend. And while I expect them to win Wildcard Weekend, depending on the opponent, although I got to tell you, it would be interesting if the Pats draw the Chargers or the Chiefs, 1 of the 2, in the first round. If somehow they slip to 4, which I don't think will happen because I think they close out against the Jets and the Bills to close out the year. It'll be fascinating, though, to see how that works out for them. But I tell you, the Pats, I think they're a little bit of trouble now going forward. Gronk's on his last legs. I mean, Brady's still Brady. I mean, he's not the same guy, but Brady's still pretty efficient and pretty, he threw some bad picks today. That really bad pick at the end in the fourth quarter. He's still really good, obviously, but you see more and more Tom Brady slippage. You see more Tom Brady slippage, and that's, 41 is still 41. I mean, I'm not saying Tom Brady's not great. He's still top 5 quarterback in the league, but 41 is 41, and at some point, Father Time does win. So, if I'm the Patriots fan, you're seeing a little bit of signs. One of my buddies sent me a text today, big time Patriots fan, and was saying that he's seen the crumbling, he's seen the end of the Dynasty, and he's right. Now, that doesn't mean they can still go on a run probably at the end of the year, the playoffs. It's possible. And it's possible. AFC, the Chiefs are good, but they shouldn't scare you, or the Chargers shouldn't scare you. If you're the Pats, of course. But I mean, there's a lot of question marks in this team. I think Gronk is done at the end of the year. I think he's going to retire. And there'll be more shakeup probably in that roster at the end of the year. Tom Brady won't retire necessarily, but maybe you'll consider it. I don't know. I was predicting also, too, before the year started, that Bill Belichick would lead the team at the end of the year. I mean, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of open-ended things in New England you got to consider. And the thing is, it's all speculation at this point now, too, because of the fact that they are a tight-lipped, buttoned-up franchise. They don't just let things out. Which is why it was so strange in the last calendar year, seeing all these leaks about, the team and, the Garoppolo stuff and, the Brady stuff and Gronk was retiring, and that's why it was weird to see all these leaks come out in the last year. Because it's not typical of the Patriots to do that, or to have that happen to the franchise. But I think this is the end of the road. I think, could they win a Super Bowl this year? It's very possible. I mean, they're a playoff team. They'll get in the playoffs. They're gonna win the next 2 games. They'll beat the Jets and the Bills at the end of the year. They'll finish 11-5 most likely, and then probably get a 3 seed in the AFC. They see who they draw. They probably draw most likely. I would say Indy in the first round. I think Indy will get that 6th spot. Maybe Baltimore. Maybe Baltimore will get that spot. I don't know, one of the 2 teams. I mean, I don't think they want Baltimore in the first round. That'd be a pretty bad matchup for them. But I think this could be the end of the road for the Pats finally. Could be looking at the end of the Dynasty. We'll see how this play out. Steelers big win, saved their season. Big win for the Steelers today. You got to give them credit. They tried every which way to give the game to the Patriots after playing well in the first half, but they found a way to win in the end. Defense showed up, and I got to tell you, it's a big win because of this. They go to New Orleans next week. Both the Browns, who are still alive, actually, and the Ravens won this week, too. So, had they lost this week, they would actually be on probably the 6th seed. Baltimore would be the 4 in the AFC playoff race and the leader in the AFC North battle. So, it's a big win for the Steelers either way. And, they go to New Orleans next week. That's a tough game, of course. So we'll see there. I was saying also on my last podcast, too, about the idea, staying in the NFC North, that what if I told you next year that that Cleveland will win the division next year, the AFC North next year, 2019, is that a far-fetched thing to say? Now, I was discussing that with a couple of friends of mine yesterday, and some said that it was split. Some agreed, some disagreed. But you think about their team moving forward. Now, obviously, you have to worry about the coach and who will be their coach moving forward. But of all the four rosters in that division, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Baltimore, Cleveland's roster is arguably has the best upside. Maybe not in a 1 year sample, but 2-3 years from now, with Baker Mayfield playing as great as he is now, getting comfortable with what he's doing there. Their defense is stout. They got weapons on both sides of the ball. Like, I'd rather be Cleveland right now than Pittsburgh, because I don't think Pittsburgh will get better than they are now. Like, they'll still be solid. They got Big Ben. As long as it's not bitching about trying to retire or whatever, they'll be fine. You still got Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and all that. But for the larger 2-3 year sample, I'd rather be Cleveland. Honestly, their roster is young. They got a quarterback that has a lot of moxie. And I think looking going forward, I just think I'd rather be Cleveland than even Baltimore. And Baltimore's going to lose their GM in the year, Ozzie Newsome, one of the best GMs in football. Obviously Lamar Jackson will be the quarterback going forward. As Flacco will probably either be traded or being cut. But teams will have tape on Lamar Jackson at some point. Cincinnati is a mess. They're gonna end up probably firing or having Marvin Lewis resign and move in the front office. I don't know. So Cleveland, to me, looks the most stable for the most part. All four teams have, their own issues, but I feel like Cleveland has most of their stuff, the ducks in a row, in comparison to the other three teams in the division. Just food for thought there. Just food for thought. What else? I'm getting tired. I'm almost home. So that's enough takeaways from NFL. I am very proud of Miami Heat, by the way. Big Heat fan. You know I'm a big Heat fan, of course. Very proud of what they've done. 4-2 road trip. Very proud. All I asked for was 3-3. I said they got 3. Remember, going to the road trip, they were, I think, 5 games below 500, or 6 games below 500. And I thought if they finished worse than 3-3, the season could be over. And they went 4-2. And maybe could win 5-1 if they beat LA, the Lakers, on the third game of the road trip. Great trip. I know they got Whiteside back today. I missed the game. I watched the game later on, but I know they got Whiteside back today for the game tonight against New Orleans. But you beat New Orleans with Anthony Davis. You almost beat the Lakers. You beat. I'm not going to mention the Utah game. The Utah game was a mess. They beat the Clippers, who were one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the West right now currently. Some really good wins there. And you have to give them credit. They did a great job. They've done a great job recovering. I thought playing without Whiteside, this team looked rejuvenated, refreshed. Ben Adebayo played great without Whiteside. You gotta be proud of this team. They just fought hard, and 4-2 road trip. I mean, they outkicked the coverage there. They really did more than I thought they'd do. So now let's see, can they win road games? That's all I need to see from the Heat. Because they're horrible at home. Can they win home games now going forward? That's the question. So anyway, I think that's enough takeaways. The Heat. I am tired. I'm gonna go home and sleep. I got another day at work tomorrow. Then I'll take a couple days off probably. By the way, next Earnestly podcast will drop on Tuesday, most likely. Student Game Report with my man Kyle Nash. And we'll probably do another pod maybe Thursday, if not Thursday, Friday. I'm going light this week too, like I did last week, only because of the holidays. If anything, I'll cram the extra stuff on these interviews. I got a couple of interviews planned this week though, so I'll probably make some of these podcasts a lot larger. So having like 3 separate podcasts. We have 2 bigger ones. But that's about it for now. I'll probably do some writing also in the next day or 2. And what else I got going on before I go? I think that's it. I think I'm done. Of course, if you watch the show here on Twitter as H57, you can check out Earnestly Media at earnestly.net. This podcast, of course, if you can't catch it here on Periscope, it'll be on my YouTube page at Ernest Christian, of course. Also, if you want to this show as a podcast, we have it also under Earnestly Unfiltered, which you can subscribe to on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, on Google Play, and Spotify as well. So a lot of places to find this stuff. Both my shows, content, more content. Love you guys. We'll probably do another show tomorrow. If not tomorrow, no, actually do another show Tuesday. Because I do this now, so I'll have to do it tomorrow. So, love you guys. Take care. See ya.